Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Spencer, and this is Moto Productions. Been a while since I posted, but today we're going to talk about Arlington Supercross and all the injuries that happened over the weekend. So I was actually lucky enough that I got the chance to attend the race, live within 4 or 5 hours of AT&T Stadium, so that was awesome that I got the chance to go to the race for the first one of the season and probably the last one. But let's go ahead and talk about, all the injuries that happened. We had quite a bit of injuries, especially in the 450 class. Number one, Adam Cincerillo, in the first time qualifying session, he was went through the first rhythm. He was trying to set a heater in qualifying, trying to go, I believe, 8 for 8, because he was 7 for 7 in qualifying before. And going over the Dragon's back, he missed the last whoop on top with his front tire and just endoed straight into the single that they were landing on. And the crash looked identical to Jet Lawrence, and I believe that was San Diego. And they both resulted in a broken clavicle / collarbone. So get well, Adam. That was a gnarly crash. Live, I actually got to see that live. I was sitting right there, and it's way gnarlier in person than it is on the broadcast when they showed the replay of it. So that was crazy. I'll show it on screen here. But number two, we had Brock Tickle. I believe it was in the first race of the main event of the Triple Crown, because it was a Triple Crown race this weekend. Him and another rider, I didn't get the chance to see who it was with, but they collided, and Tickle's hand got caught up between his bike and the other bike, and there's really no time on when he will be back at the races, not that I'm aware of, but he will be back before the season, I'm assuming. That's a really big bummer for Brock Tickle, because as you guys know, this is literally his second race back from the 2-year suspension that he got from the FIM 2 years ago. That's terrible luck for Tickle. I'm really bummed about that, and the JGR curse. Savachi, Norin, you had Dakotas in qualifying. He had a pretty bad get off. He was already injured. So throw him in there with the JGR guys. They cannot keep a guy healthy. It's just the JGR curse. I would be scared to death to ride one of those machines now. That's just kind of how their luck has gone, honestly, this last 2 or 3 years. Obviously with Pike, and then last year Hill was kind of everywhere with injuries and setting blistering times and qualifying, and it was just a bad season for him. But anyway, Brock will be back at the races, hopefully within the 2020 Supercross. Not sure how bad the hand is, but we'll see how that goes. Then we had Justin Brayton. He had 5, I wouldn't say 5 hard get-offs, but I'd say he had 2 pretty good ones, and they were during the day in qualifying and practice. Obviously the big one, I'll try to put it on screen here. If I can find it, I believe he posted it on Instagram. But at his foot, he was trying to set a heater right in qualifying, and lucky enough, I saw this one too. And it was pretty gnarly. His foot actually clipped the top of the jump while he was scrubbing, and it made his feet come off. He came up a little bit short, and ultimately ended up in him slamming into the ground from 10 to 15 feet in the air. About how high they get off of the finish line catapult there. So that was a gnarly one. I honestly didn't know if he was going to get back up, but he was able to get back up and participate in the races that night. I think he had a get off in main event 1, and then in 2 he had another one, ultimately ending his night. I don't believe he lined up for the third one. So, I mean, he got like 21st overall because obviously Tickle, he didn't line up for the second or the third. So, I mean, at that point, you got Adam, you got Dakotas, Cincerillo, and Brayton. And then, obviously, the biggest talk of the night, Cooper Webb, doing identical thing to what Adam did, but the get-off was a little different. I'm sure everybody in the industry has seen it and knows how his injury actually ended up, how lucky he ended up being. So basically what happened, if you don't know, and I'll put it on the screen because videos are everywhere, but he did the same thing Adam did. Just over the Dragon's back, his front tire missed the last whoop, sent him over the bars because he cased the single after, and instead of going into the face of it like Adam did, he actually ended up kind of just, I mean, he was like a rag doll going up the face of that triple, leaned to the left. I mean, not on purpose, but he leaned to the left and eventually ended up going over the bars and landed on his back on the concrete, and the bike whipped him in the back of the head. I mean, that was a crazy crash. That was a crazy crash. I can't really believe that he's not more injured than he is. Cooper Webb is very, very lucky for that kind of impact, and I mean, it was on concrete. That was gnarly. He has severe bruising, but he updated everybody on Instagram today that he will be attempting to race this weekend in Atlanta. So that is very good news for Red Bull KTM. He is 26 points back of Tomac, the points leader. So he's definitely going to have to have some luck, I believe, because I don't think he'll be at full race-winning pace, or I don't think he'll be able to be up there at least the next 2 or 3 races, in my opinion. But you never know. Cooper is he's a fighter, and we'll see what he's got. But it's going to be hard for him to really do anything against Tomac, Roczen in these next couple races to gain points. But anyway, very, very lucky that Cooper Webb is not broken in some way other than just deep bone bruising. But I mean, Arlington Supercross, it was a very, very good race for a fan. It was amazing racing. You had you had crashes, you had drama, the little crashes, in the 250 class, obviously with Hampshire and Sexton there, but it was honestly kind of, you got to be bummed about the season, because I mean, you had Adam, he was there in the top 5 in points. He's out for, at least a month, you would think, with the broken clavicle. Not sure if he's going to have surgery on it or what, but can't imagine it. Can't imagine him being back anytime within the next month, at least. And then Webb will be at a little slower pace, I would imagine. Brayton's beat up, so he's not gonna. I don't know how that's gonna be with him. I hope he's up there in that 7th to 10th place range like normal. But then again, you got guys like Justin Hill. He's kind of catching his groove. Barsha's not out of this thing yet. He's 27 back. He's still fighting like crazy. Just can't get a start to save his life. So we'll see how Barsha does these next couple weeks. Roczen's still there. I mean, all it takes for Barsha and Webb is to have Kenny and Eli to have one bad race, and they're right back in this title fight. So we'll see kind of how it plays out here. And I gotta remind you guys, it's only halfway through the season, so still anything goes. Heck, Jason's not even out of this thing. He's way back there in points. I believe he's 42 back. But with injuries and how motocross, supercross is, can never count anybody that's in it to win it. Obviously, a race-winning contender like Jason is. But just wanted to make this video about injuries, and it was a gnarly one in Arlington this weekend. But yeah, we'll kind of see how Atlanta goes, and we'll see how the momentum swings, and if Tomac can keep the ball rolling here with another win. So I'm very excited to see how the season plays out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.